So for me, if you don't have this one thing with your throw, you're not going to get better at darts. And I'm going to tell you why. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So I've been playing darts for around 2 years now, and along the way I've learned a few things. Now, I'm not a pro player, I'm not like a really high level player, I'm an improving player just like many of you. And I might be at a slightly different stage of the journey, but I'm still just on the journey, just like everybody else. But with all that in mind, I have learned a few things along the way. And one thing that I have learned that I think is extremely important if your throw is going to get better and improve, and I would actually argue essential, is this. It's that your process is repeatable. Now, there's not many things about darts improvement, and there's not many things that I talk about in this channel where I am objectively trying to say, yes, this is the answer, and I know the answer on this. That's very rare for me to say that on this channel. And I think if you've watched a lot of my content, you probably know that. I'm not a big proponent on going crazy with technical tips. I'm not a big proponent on sort of one set way of doing equipment or anything like that. I'm pretty much of the opinion that like a lot of things can work, but I think whatever you decide on, and whatever it is in terms of equipment, whatever it is in terms of technical, whatever it is in terms of just how you approach the oche, it needs to be repeatable. And the reason that I say this is because your brain expects a certain process. And whether it's just the way you walk up to the oche, whether it's the way you position your feet, the angle of your chest, all these different things that are at play when you're throwing a dart, your brain wants them to be all as repeatable as possible so it can perfect that process as much as possible. And if you have that foundation where it's like a very set process and you're doing it identical every single time, you're going to improve faster. I really don't feel like I'm going out on a limb by saying that. You are going to objectively get faster. You are objectively going to get better at darts faster. I don't have a problem saying that. Now, you might ask yourself, like, what other ways this can go wrong? Like, what would it look like if I wasn't having a repeatable throw? Well, I think it kind of boils down into a few different camps. I think the first thing is like equipment. Now, I talked about equipment in the last video, so I'm not going to go in depth on equipment, but I think it's important to have a very similar sort of dart every time you throw, because if you don't, you're never going to get used to it, or you're going to really struggle to get used to it, and your brain's going to be constantly readjusted. I would encourage you to go watch that equipment video if you're interested in me talk about this point a bit more, but I think equipment can really play a little bit of havoc if you're like continually changing the shape or size or weight of your dart. If you're constantly giving the brain something else to work with in terms of what you're picking up, then it's going to be harder to perfect that process. The next thing I would consider to be obviously the technical side of things. Like, the way you throw the dart can change. And if I just grab a dart to kind of prove the point, like sometimes, and I've found this myself over the last 2 years on my own personal journey, is sometimes I can grip the dart at the front, sometimes I can do it in the middle, and sometimes I can do it at the rear. And I've got a bit of a bad habit, which I really force myself not to do these days, but throughout a particular game, I can just be picking up the dart, depending on how it kind of comes out of my other hand, and I can just be grabbing it sort of anywhere and making it work and just lobbing it. And you're kind of like trying to perfect like several different throws, and that's just where you're grabbing the dart. Then you've kind of got how many fingers you're putting on the dart, like how hard you're gripping the dart, kind of, you know, the weight of the pressure that you're putting on it. There's lots of different things that you can do when you're throwing the dart that can vary the process. Another thing would be maybe like the way you're kind of like pulling back your arm, how far you're pulling back, like the angle of your elbow can be flared out sometimes, potentially. There's lots of different ways that the whole process can splinter and go into a million different variations of the same thing. And I think that's a trap that we can quite easily fall into, where we have all these like many different throws and we're not very good at any of them. And I think obviously everybody is going to have some degree of splintering with the way they throw the dart. I'm sure if you watch my videos, you can probably see ways I'm throwing the dart a little bit different from time to time. It's not intentional, but it's going to happen. And I think even pro players are probably going to do the same thing. Are they going to do it very often? I'd suspect not. And I would hazard a guess, if you were to sort of like track this in some way, shape or form, pro players would probably be a lot more robotic and repeatable than someone like myself. And that's just the way it is. And someone like me would probably be more robotic and repeatable than someone who just started a week ago. That's just, I think, improvement is really just kind of like honing that repeatable motion. So yeah, I would encourage you to bear that in mind. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how it can vary for kind of new players and a bit more experienced players in a moment, but let's jump on to the next thing that I would talk about, and that's process. Now, this one is an interesting one because you wouldn't think it's really going to make a huge difference, and maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but I'm inclined to think it makes a pretty big difference. So when I'm talking about process, what I can be talking about is usually the way you approach the oki and set yourself. So like, you know, if you imagine sometimes like, and someone actually pointed this out in one of my videos recently, it was a very good idea and a very good tip. And they said that when I walk up to the oki, I don't go far back from the oki. I kind of like walk up to the oki, I turn around and I carry on throwing my darts. And when I thought about this, I thought, they're right, because if I go to like a public place and I'm playing in a tournament or a league match against other people, I'm not just going to do this circular motion of getting the darts out the board, walking down the oki and standing back at the line. I'm going to have to go and wait behind that person for them to finish their throw. Then I'm going to sort of step into the throw. Like, you know, I'm going to step up to the oki. So it's a different process. And I think when I think about why it's tough to play in tournaments and league matches, that is probably one little factor. It might not be the biggest factor, but it's one little factor where your process has changed at the league or the tournament versus when you're at home. And that's just one little small thing. Like I say, you know, sometimes your foot might be positioned differently. Sometimes you might stand at the left of the oki, and then other times you might stand at the right of the oki. Sometimes you might be in the center. If you just keep changing your process, it's going to have an impact on your game. It might not be as big as the equipment or the technical kind of things that I talked about. And I guess these could be considered technical to some degree, but ultimately they are going to have an impact. And we need to try and take all these like little bits of like low-hanging fruit that we can get. If we can really clean up the process, lop off the things that are like random and a little bit unpredictable and really kind of standardize the process, we're going to get better faster. And that's something that I always try to do, which kind of takes me on to my next point, which is about like new players versus experienced players and how you use this information, because I think it's a little bit different. So let me just put this dart down so I'm not just swinging it around the entire video. So when I think about a new player, like let's just say like maybe the first month or something, you're going to be experimenting with your throw, you're going to be experimenting with your equipment, and I would encourage you to do that. Try and find what you like, and at first, you know, you've kind of got the license to do that, I would say. Try out different darts, try out different throws, hold the dart in different ways, try different weights of darts, try different grips with the dart. You know, stand in a certain way, stand at the left of the oki, the right of the oki, the center, I don't know. I mean, I would generally encourage you to stand in the center, but see what you like. Like Stephen Bunting stands like about a mile to the right of the oki. So if you like that and you keep doing it and it works for you, then personally, I don't think it's the biggest issue in the world. So just try out different things and experiment. But whatever you do decide, try and think about it with that in mind. Like if I grip the dart in a specific way, this might feel amazing for one throw, but am I going to be able to repeat that? And even if I can, am I going to be able to repeat it tens of thousands of times, like over and over and over again? Simplify is probably the ultimate message I would give you here. Simplify the process. Try and like eradicate things that just complicate the process. Points of failure, you might have heard that term before, that's something else we could use here. Like if you've got all these different points of failure where the process can break down and the repeatability can kind of fall away, then it's probably not the best way to do it. Keep it simple and all that kind of stuff. So like I say, experiment, try different things out, but just remember whatever you do decide on, whether it's equipment, technical, process, it's got to be repeatable. That's the most important thing. And if you are a player a bit further along in your journey, or you're kind of maybe a year or two in or whatever, and you're kind of thinking, how do I apply this to my game? And if you ever watch any of my content, I'll talk about don't rip apart your technique, don't kind of tear it all down and rebuild your throw. So how does that kind of fit in with this advice, which is kind of like, it could potentially be change my throw if my throw is very complicated or it's very tough to sort of work with? Well, I would just say, don't rip apart your throw, but if you are going to make adjustments and if you are going to sort of make tweaks, just make them with this in mind. And I would focus probably more, if you're kind of that sort of person who's a bit further along in your journey, I would probably focus more on the equipment and I'd probably focus more on the process. Try and standardize and repeat those things as much as you can. The technical side of things, yeah, it might be a bit trickier if you've kind of got like a bit of an elaborate sort of throw and it's kind of like falling apart a little bit the more you throw the dart. And when we start getting a bit fatigued, that's where these things can break down and become unrepeatable. I think that's why practice can be bad if you do too much of it, because you're going to break down your process and it's going to kind of fall away. So I would just encourage you, if you're going to make any changes, just make them with that in mind. Try not to sort of make any further complicating changes to your game. And like I say, try and settle on something equipment-wise. Try and settle on something process-wise. Always approach the Oki as similarly... Is that a word? Similarly as you can every single time, and really just work with what you've got and work with what you can use. And just to give you like an example of how I use it, circling back to myself, like when I'm throwing the dart, I'm constantly trying to listen to what I'm like kind of my body is feeling, so to speak. It sounds a bit stupid, but I'm trying to listen to how it feels. I'm trying to kind of get the feel for how the throw is, and whatever I kind of feel and I like, I'm trying to make it repeatable. Like every single time, if I'm moving my wrist in a certain way as the dart is going back and the hand is opening up a little bit, I'm trying to repeat that. Bear in mind, I'm not saying there's a perfect way to throw the dart. I'm just saying whatever I like the feel of, I'm trying to make it repeatable. So that can be a bit of a focus for your training, I would say. And I would encourage you not to get too conscious with your training, like how you're throwing the dart, but just listen to what feels good and just try and make it repeatable. That's probably about as deep as I would go with that sort of advice, but it's something to work towards, and I do strongly feel as though it will make you a better player. The sooner that process becomes like a production line and it's repeatable, the sooner you're going to get better and see gains in your game. I managed to say that without messing up the sentence, So yeah, let me know down in the comments, have you suffered from this? Do you kind of feel like your throw can sometimes change from day to day or week to week, month to month? And if so, what sort of impact do you think it has on your game? Because when I look back on my journey, I definitely think it's had a negative impact at times. And now I'm finally starting to sort of remove some of that randomness, I feel like. And maybe that just comes with the journey. Maybe that just comes with improvement. Maybe not, I don't know. Let me know what you think down below. Thank you for watching, guys. Really do appreciate it. And finally, if you've enjoyed the video, do hit the subscribe. It's a massive help. Really appreciate it. Thank you once again. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you for the next one. Bye-bye.